So where does the Indian women's team stand after a brief tour of New Zealand? The 50-over finalists and World T20 semi-finalists have been going through some internal strife, especially with Mithali Raj's role still undefined in the shortest format of the game. Our correspondent Kavya and Nath spoke to former India women's captain and broadcaster Anjum Chopra to figure out what is going on behind the scenes.
I'm here with one of the legends of Indian women's cricket. She's a former Indian captain. I'm here with Anjum Chopra. Thank you for joining us, ma'am.
Pleasure.
Ma'am, Indian cricket, women's cricket is doing so well right now. India has done well in New Zealand, won the ODI series. How proud of you, how proud of them are you after all their achievements in the last 1 year?
Well, I think the Indian team is definitely doing well. There's nothing taken away from that. But as a player, as a former player, somebody who's already attached with the proceedings, I think I would have expected them not only to win, but win convincingly, win a 3-0. It's not about being greedy or setting the bar too high. It's about setting very modest and achievable targets. And after losing the World Cup final, I think that pinch should hit the team so very hard that every time they go out there and play a must-win game, they should take it as a World Cup final, because I think it's a difficult pill to swallow till now. So I expect them to win and win convincingly.
Ma'am, Smriti Mandhana, she's the champ right now. She's the #1 player in the world. She's been awarded the ICC Player of the Year award as well. How impressed are you with her over the past few years?
Well, I've seen her journey over the past few years. I've seen her come through the under-19 ranks. So I've known how she's evolved as a player and how she's become a champion player presently. And she's done a lot of hard work, which is very much visible. And at the moment, I think she's really a top of the world in terms of her play. And I'm happy again that she's opening the batting for India. She's playing for India. And we require somebody like that at the top. And well, if she's really carrying that mantle forward, I definitely wish her all the best. And next time, I hope that match-winning knock comes in the most crucial encounter.
Harmanpreet Kaur, she's done so well as captain of the T20 side. She scored runs as well. Do you think that, she could really take us to a World Cup win? She missed out this time, but she could do it in the future. Also, do you think she should take over ODI captaincy as well?
Well, to talk about captaincy, there's a lot of things which has already been discussed. It's easier to comment about it, but it's a decision that the selectors need to make. It's very easy to say that Mithali should quit playing. I think the decision that the selectors have in their midst is whether they have somebody to replace Mithali Raj with. If that's a yes, then there's no brainer. I mean, definitely Harmanpreet Kaur should take over the captaincy in the one-day format. But on the other side, it's also about Mithali Raj, whether she really wants to hang her boots up or not. And I think that's the answer that only Mithali can answer. Not selecting her in the T20 team, even in the recent game, is a clear indication that they're not looking at her at a T20 player. But for a 50-over format, I think the message has to go out. You have to have a very formal discussion with the player and then take things forward, because there's no point in commenting about it, and there's no point letting things linger on. It's better that a call is made and then things move on.
Ma'am, you just mentioned Mithali Raj and what her decision should be. Harmanpreet Kaur has said that, we should start giving more chances to the youngsters, which is what they're doing in the T20. Do you think that's the right call that India is making, or should they keep playing their older players till they retire?
I've never believed in this philosophy of older players and younger players. We've all gone through that, and I think it's a rubbish policy completely to have to say, I must give an opportunity to a younger player. What does a younger player mean? Under 14, under 12, or an under 19? It's got to do with performance. Yes, you encourage your upcoming player, but you don't encourage players playing for an Indian team. You encourage players to become equipped to play for an Indian team. The Indian team is not a trial base, and it's not a grooming area. So I think that philosophy, I've never understood why grooming and all that. But yes, if you're looking at somebody to replacing a senior player, I think the junior player must play along with the senior player so that they understand the ropes of international cricket quicker than not being associated with them. In terms of Mithali, I think she's seen many summers. She knows exactly when to quit. In terms of the selectors, I think that's a very conscious decision that they need to take, and somebody needs to take that decision. There's no point saying X or Y. If you're looking at an Indian team going forward and Mithali is not in that midst, then she should be informed about it very clearly. And there's no need to make any discussions about it or any news about it for the rights and the wrongs. I think it's a decision that the team requires.
Ma'am, do you believe there's a rift in the Indian team? Is there a problem between Harmanpreet and Mithali Raj? And looking at the controversy surrounding the coach that happened where Mithali was fighting against Ramesh Pawar, do you think stuff like that should come out and should be a real problem for Indian women's cricket?
See, as Indian captains or as senior players, we've all gone through this. It's not that nobody has been rested or been dropped from a playing 11. I was the captain of the Indian team, and I picked the team which we were supposed to be touring with to England to play, and the 14 were there. I was the one who was dropped. So some things like this it's not that things like this haven't happened earlier. They have. But in terms of rift, again, coming back to the senior and a junior philosophy, I think performance is the criteria. And that's it. We are playing for the country, and when you have the country's logo and the people looking up to you, it's only performance that's going to take you forward. This is not a place for trials at all. And in terms of having a rift, I think when you're winning, everything is good. When there is something not happening correctly, there are enough people around the Indian team who can address this issue, solve this issue, and I think it could still be avoided. I mean, the kind of controversy which just got created, it could have been avoided. But having said that, I think they've moved on from it. And if it's between the players, it just takes a cup of tea to solve all those differences.